Keir Starmer, UK's Prime Minister, is bragging about a new trade deal he has made with India, where people from over there can come over here and work because there's so many jobs over here. On top of that, they don't have to pay NI for up to 3 years. But he's just put national insurance up for everybody else in the UK who has lived, born and raised in the UK, the average British person. You tell me how that makes sense. How is Labour taking care of us?
Has anyone read this madness? So an Indian can come over here and their employer won't have to pay any national insurance for 3 years. So Labour have just increased national insurance, which is destroying, small and tiny businesses around the UK. And now for all those large employers, instead of employing British people, they can just employ Indians and not pay any national insurance. Great plan.
What is Keir Starmer up to this time? The UK has just signed a £25.5 billion trade deal with India. The US get a massive minerals deal with Ukraine, and we get this. Starmer has boasted that this will mean that UK consumers get cheaper clothes, shoes and other high street products. Yeah, alright, wouldn't be the first time that you promised something that didn't materialise, would it, Starmer? There is one key element that he has kept quiet about so far though, and that is what it means for visas for workers and students coming from India. You can guess where this is going, can't you? Open season on our borders, as if we don't have enough problems with net migration as it is. Why does every single thing that we sign up to as a country involve just opening our borders to everybody? The UK is bursting at the seams. Not enough school places, NHS waiting times through the roof, nobody can see a doctor, infrastructure completely inadequate. But hey, we'll take more people, won't we? Is this a good deal for the UK? Let me know what you think in the comments.
Oh no! No! What's he doing? Prime Minister Rodney has just signed a £25 billion free trade deal with India, where he's boasting that UK consumers will get cheaper shoes, cheaper clothes and cheaper high street goods. Like fuck will we? In the corporations and companies, they will make more profits. And guess what he's keeping quiet about? There's one key detail that he's not boasting about. There are questions remaining over what agreement has been made on visas for Indian nationals waiting to study or work in the UK. This is typical, isn't it? Why does every trade deal that the UK does involve opening our borders up to students and low-skilled workers? The UK is literally bursting at the seams with NHS times at an all-time high, rent at an all-time high, and we have not enough of well-paid high jobs. There's hardly any out there. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Doesn't India have 1.4 billion people, their population in their country? Why is the UK taxpayer having to top them up? Why are we having to top up India? If you think this is bad, wait until the next video I upload and in a couple of hours time with what he's fucking doing. It just gets fucking worse. For fuck's sake.
The India trade deal, I mean, anyone who's still backing or supporting this Labour government over change of reform, just please exercise your right of immigration and find another country to go and live in, because you are really not helping us either, and you're not supporting your country or the people in it. I mean, he announces this India trade deal like a expectant puppy at Christmas, or a dad or a father or a husband who's done something really good for once and is wagging their tail. I mean, to say it's just madness and how bad that is for your average working man is such an understatement. Because obviously I wasn't even going to bother making this video. I mean, it's just get your passports and fuck off. We don't.
Keir Starmer has just announced this new trade deal that the UK has signed with India. Now, one of the features of this trade deal between the UK and India is that they want to encourage migration between the two countries. So to help encourage this, Indians will be able to move to the UK, and for the first 3 years that they live in the UK, they will not have to pay national insurance, and their employers won't have to pay national insurance either. This means that employers are going to prefer hiring Indian workers over British workers because they won't have to pay national insurance for their Indian workers, and the Indian workers will be more comfortable working for a lower wage because they will have a higher real wage in real terms because they won't be paying national insurance. It's just another example of how this government is putting British workers last and foreign workers first.
Is Keir Starmer trying to piss off every single British citizen in this country with his latest antics? And when I say British citizen, it is irrelevant in terms of colour. Let me just make that clear. He's basically saying a big fuck you. And here's why. So national insurance rates are being raised to every single person that is an actual citizen of the UK. But he set up a new deal with India where anyone that comes in on a working visa will not pay national insurance for 3 fucking years. How is that looking after your own first? How? Every British citizen, regardless of colour, are all paying more national insurance than they've ever paid in their whole entire lives. This is a smash in the eyeballs, literally. It's going to piss off so many people. How does that make any logical sense? It literally has no sense at all. I mean, at this point, we may as well just have a fucking Trump. I mean, this guy's making Trump look like a good guy. Now, if we break it down, it works out roughly to each employer having to pay around an extra £1,000 a year per employee. So basically what's going to happen, because the maths have just mathed itself, is why would any business want to then employ a UK citizen when they have to pay £1,000 a more a year for them, when it will be easier for them to get someone who doesn't have to pay the NI? Like, someone please make it make sense, because I can't deal with this anymore. What do you think about this? Has this pissed you off the way it has me?
UK flat in 2025.
Oh, is this ours? Is this our new flat? Yeah, I want to see it. Yeah, go on, show us what you got. Let's go.
Hey!
Connor, what the is this, man?
Yeah? What do you think?
We can't stay here, dude. There's no room.
It's the flat.
How are we going to stay here for 12 months? We've got no space.
It's fine. It's hybrid. It's like, you know, sleep, kitchen, bathroom.
Where the are we going to put all of our stuff?
That's storage. What do you think these are, mate? Come on.
Yeah, but, right, fine. Where are we going to go for a shower? A wash?
There is running water, Ben. I did check that there was running water.
Okay, fair enough. Good.
Yeah.
How much are we paying then?
£5 grand.
£5 grand. £2,500 each.
That was cheap.
That is pretty cheap, actually, considering...
It's 2025.
It is 2025.
You got to roll with the times.
Fair.
You know, you got to...
You know what? I'm sorry for moaning. Let's just move our shit in.
Right then, who'd like to hear some good news? Yes, you're going to like this. The government have just announced they're building 1.5 million new homes, council homes. Yay. Only joking. They're not for us. They're not for us. They're for the illegals. Yeah, for the asylum seekers. To help get the cost of having them in hotels down from £5 million a day. So, yeah, they're not for us. Can you believe it? Cheeky prioritising the illegals over us. Honest to God. Talk about kicking their fecking teeth again.
I'm sorry, but what in the actual F... I'm trying to stop swearing. But what in the actual F is going on with the housing and rental at the moment? Like, I can't get my head around it. I get sent alerts to me when there's like new properties up for rent and stuff like that, because I want to move, ideally a house. If I want a house, 2 to 3 bedrooms is about 2,200. That's decent. I just where do they expect us to live? In like a little ant's nest or something? Because I literally, kid you not, yeah, I saw a property on Rightmove. You know the things that people get done, like built in the back of their garden? I don't know what it's called. You know, one of them little shed shack things, up for rent for 1,100, 1 bedroom. The cheek of it. I don't understand what the F is going on. No, I'm not happy. I'm in shock. This needs to get sorted, mate, because I'm just going to move abroad. I'm done. I'm out of here.
You ever wonder why houses in the UK are so expensive and yet so ugly? You compare it to places nearby, like Germany, France, Spain. You might think, well, the reason it's so much more expensive is because the population density is so much higher. You can also compare it to countries like the Netherlands and Belgium, where the population density is much higher, but they have adapted and managed to create a space for people to live without sacrificing greenery. Just so we're clear, when you look at a house in the Netherlands, there's a lot more space per person, per capita, but the difference is they've given 87% of their land to green space. Now, all the UK would need to do is reduce from 93% to 91% of green space, and people would be able to have a home. Homes would be 50% bigger and 2.5 times cheaper. But of course, people who own homes wouldn't want the housing market to crash, would they? They would rather their assets go up than have people be able to be home. And then you couple that with the fact that since World War II and the need to vastly reconstruct a lot of major cities, which led the government to impose a bunch of different regulations on building codes, and you price out the individual from being able to create their own home. Only 7% of homes are made by the individual in the UK. So what ends up happening is only developers can create. And they create blocks and blocks of houses that all look the same. Or, you know, there's an ABC type housing. And that's it. There's no variation, there's no beauty, there's no detail or character, because everything is just a carbon copy of what's next to it. The rest of Western society just has a couple of building codes. Don't make it too high, don't do X, Y, Z, and that's enough. You shouldn't need to get the government to tell you, okay, yeah, you can build a basic house on your own property that you own. But people would rather blame immigration than just take a look at the government regulations ruining their own country.
They lost control of immigration. We had nearly 1 million people come into this country, had an open borders experiment.
The biggest political con man of our age.
They promised change. We got déjà vu. Labour swept in with talk of fairness, freezes, and fixing Britain. But fast forward to now, and the promises vanished. Starmer said he'd freeze bills, protect services, stand with the people. But now, it's lies, lies, and more lies. From council tax hikes to NHS chaos, the so-called alternative is looking a lot like the same old mess. Brits are waking up to the fact that red isn't all that different from blue, and TikTok is letting it rip. Today on Brit Rants, we're diving into the backlash, the broken promises, and the fury flooding the comments section. This is where we don't do party loyalty, we do receipts. Subscribe if you're done being lied to in a different colour tie.
Keir Starmer said yesterday he wants to reduce immigration significantly, like Rishi Sunak and everyone before him. I don't know who needs to hear this, but the super rich pay our government to keep immigration high, to employ workers at cheaper cost than the natives. Keir Starmer's simply being a chameleon. He praised immigration his entire life.
We welcome migrants. Right, and the whole United Kingdom is better because of immigration. And I think, if I'm honest, the Labour Party's been a bit scared of making the positive case for immigration for quite a number of years. And I think we need to turn that round.
He will continue fulfilling higher-ups by printing money. So the rich people that own assets become richer and immigration will stay high. People say he's doing a bad job or he's stupid, but in reality he's succeeding. Because he's not working for you. He's working to defend in rich and on his employers and donors who fill his pockets. And pretty much every single business owner, especially at a high level, know this, like, to be true. It's 100% a fact.
This is for the new Labour government. If you're not the new Labour government, you can potentially scroll on. Potentially announcing that you're going to give £600 million in military aid to Ukraine after you announced that you're going to cut fuel allowance for elderly people. Something that you cannot give an impact assessment to, and that you said in 2019 that could result in the death of elderly people. Potentially not the best move. Potentially not very wise. Potentially you need new PR. Potentially you need some coordination. Just a thought.
The absolute balls on Keir Starmer to turn up where people are grieving to get his photo opportunity. Him and Yvette Cooper. The come on refugees, come on you people, come here for a great life. Come and get your free hotel, your free food. Come and get some shelter. Here's our daughters. Slaughter at will. And then let 90,000 more come in. You lay a wreath knowing that there's another 90,000 of them about to be given amnesty. That there's already hundreds of thousands of people in this country that, given an opportunity, will spit in our face. That are given hotels, care, attention, medical treatment. They're given warmth, whilst walking around and seeing the poverty, the breakdown of our society, where children, some not even with a mattress to sleep on, aren't getting food. Parents doing 3 jobs to make ends meet. Pensioners who can't even afford to heat themselves at night because Labour has decided to take away their rights to the winter fuel payment because they might be slightly above the limit to get benefits. And the balls that you can just go there, offer condolences. I think Mr. Keir Starmer, Yvette Cooper and everybody in the Labour Party and everybody in the Conservative Party, you guys should all quit. There should be a revolution in this country to get rid of all of you. But again, no. The British people were too nice. We can't vote you out because we're stupid. Because you dangle carrots in front of the people that don't want to read your manifesto, don't want to look at the history books of exactly what you do. We follow these silly lines of humanitarian access for these people, while our daughters are slain. I don't know what to do as a parent. If we stand up and fight, if we go out on the streets, it'd be the only time you use a truncheon, the only time that all of a sudden the police will arrive and hit us. When anybody of a minority fights, anybody sings a song that might upset somebody else, you let it go. But the British people, we stand with a flag and we're hit with a baton. This country is going into hell. And as a father of 3 beautiful children, I have no idea right now of how we get out of this.
Hey. You live in India and you want a job in the UK? Well, come on down and join the fun. Come on. And don't worry, you won't need a boat. Your employer can send you directly here via plane. And what's your employer getting out of this, you might think? Well, it'll cost them 20% less in national insurance payments, which equals about £1,000 a year per employee that's sent to the UK. So yeah, you guessed it, more migration from more foreign countries. Thanks, Keir. Sky News also reported that it's a landmark trade deal. Trade deal involves cutting the price on gin and whiskey. As tariffs have been slashed on household cosmetics and medical supplies too. So Starmer's saying that this is going to boost UK's GDP by £4.8 billion. Well, that doesn't even cover the cost of what we sent to the Ukraine, does it really? So it doesn't make any fucking odds. I just can't believe that he's actively encouraging cheaper labour in the UK, which means if you're looking for the job in the next couple of months, you might start finding it difficult. Migrants may be taking them roles on at a cheaper rate to the employer. And I don't mean via the pay packet. I mean the employer is going to be paying less in national insurance, which is going to make it more attractive to employ people at a lower cost to themselves. So to make it clear, it's going to be cheaper for any employer to take on an Indian migrant than what it will be to take on a UK current citizen, which puts British workers at the back of the line with the people who need houses and the veterans, and if you need a doctor's appointment and social housing. Well in, Starmer, you know, to put a smile on anyone's face. As usual, emphasising other countries' needs over the UK's. One day we'll open these apps and we'll see some positive news, I'm sure, but it's not going to come from Labour. Labour are making a cracking job of this, aren't they? It's just the political party that just keeps on giving. Stay hopeful and have a good day.
So, let me get this right. We have companies here laying off people because they can't afford the national insurance hikes that the government have forced upon companies and people. However, if you hire somebody from India in the new trade deal, you don't have to pay the national insurance. Does that look like that people are more likely to take on people from India than people from the UK who already have people struggling for jobs here? Now, I do understand that we do need people to come in from different countries to fill gaps, and I'm all for that. I'm all for that, coming in legally and filling those gaps. But does the fact that they're exempt from national insurance make people more likely to take on people from India when people are being laid off for the national insurance because they can't afford to pay it? Thoughts, please.
I'm absolutely furious. Just when you think Keir Starmer cannot stoop any lower than he has now in kicking the British worker in the nuts, up pops this one today. As part of a trade deal with India, Indian nationals can come into the UK and the companies that employ them for the first 3 years will not have to fork out on national insurance contributions. This means British workers are going to be put behind the queue in front of Indian nationals. It's absolutely shocking. Should this deal go ahead? It shouldn't do. We should stop it. If you agree with me on that one, see the little red cross, give it a click. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is Starmer selling the British worker down the river?
Things that make you go, So our Prime Minister, I'm not going to say his name because there appears to be a new feature on this app where if you say our Prime Minister's name, it stops the recording. Because I've tried this video 3 times this morning and every time I've said the cunt's name, it's gone, nope, you can't talk about him. And they've stopped it. They've had to press record again. And every time I fucking say it, it fucking stops it again. So fucking eat a bag of dicks, TikTok. Anyway, our Prime Minister has just signed off on a trade deal with India, apparently. The largest trade deal in history. It's going to pump billions of pounds into the UK economy and it's going to create thousands of jobs across the board. Just at the same time, India start bombing the shit out of Pakistan. So is it a trade deal or is it something else? I mean, we've sent billions of taxpayers' money in supporting Israel, and we've spent billions of taxpayers' money supporting Ukraine, and you've all spent the last couple of years flying Palestinian flags and Ukrainian flags and standing for the people because it's fucking genocide, etc., etc., etc. Give it a couple of months, and I reckon you're all going to be standing up for Pakistan and flying the old Pakistani flag as well. Fucking trade deal. Eat a bag of dicks. Leave your comments in the comments.
I'm going to post a little bit of a rant here just about the London rental crisis. One thing that's making the London rental crisis worse are just letting agents who don't know their stuff and are also just incredibly rude. So today, it's going to view 3 properties in London, okay? I don't live in London, so I've got to get into London, which is about 45 minutes to an hour to go view these places. First one, go and view. The letting agent booked us in for 12:45 and then asked us if we can come in at 12:30. Well, I was like, I'll try and get there as soon as I can, but, there's traffic. She rings me constantly 3 times, asking me, where I am, etc. I was like, I'm 5 minutes away, chill. Anyway, I get there, doesn't even bother to greet us, just literally sees us and then bolts straight into the flat, is then just incredibly rude. I couldn't answer any questions that I had. It was just sort of like, oh, this is this room, this is that room. Have a look around. What do you think? That's pretty much it. You know, and I know that's what most like things go with, but she was just in such a rush to get out there. It's like, why did you book us in the first place? So that was the first one. We were in and out within a couple of minutes. It just wasn't a good experience. Then the second one we were going to go visit, there was a bit of a gap between our next one, but we turn up at 3:30, which we booked in the week. Turn up at this property. Now, bearing in mind, we had no confirmation from this particular letting agent that we were going to view the property. So no confirmation of what the actual address is. You just get, what you see on Zoopla. And yeah, so we arrived there at 3:30. Nobody there. I ring up spend there 5 minutes waiting. I ring up the switchboard and said, we're supposed to be viewing a property. Where are you? No, I'll get in contact with him. The bloke then rings me up and says, I'm 40 minutes away. I was like, that's not very good, is it? Like, you're supposed to be here now. Oh yeah, things are running behind. And he's like, it's best if we reschedule. And it's like, what? Like, you're supposed to be showing us to 2 other properties. Like, I can't come on a Monday afternoon. I've got work. And it's just an absolute piss take. He's like, oh yeah, just really sorry. And I said, well, did you not think to ring me and tell me that you're 40 minutes late? Sat here outside the fucking property waiting for him, and he's just not even bothered to even email me or even just call me and just say, look, I'm really sorry, blah, blah. It's a piss take. Like, so all the experience we've had so far have just been letting agents that don't have a clue. There's one person who was really good, and that's when we made an offer on. We didn't unfortunately get it, but she knew her stuff and she was great. She answered all of her questions. So, just want to say, it's not all of them, but every other one we've been with, they've been just rude, they've been obnoxious, and they've just been downright unprofessional. And, there's massive London rental crisis, and these guys are just making it worse. Sorry, ran over, but today took the fucking piss.